Hey there, it's Nicola here from Conscious Crypto Traders, and today I am joined with one of my favorite YouTubers, DavinciJ15. Hi DaVinci, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here, man. I'm here in Dubai. It's getting hotter here, and I'm looking forward to actually going someplace else. And once I get my passport, because I had to get my passport renewed. But yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm really excited. We've got some really in-depth and involved conversations here today, folks, for you with DaVinciJ. So we're just going to kick it off with talking a little bit about the state of the market, how it is right now, Bitcoin, and its technicals in general, because DaVinci has a very unique angle on that, which I would really like him to share with you. We'll go into a bit of strategy, and we're going to be talking about his participation in the Conscious Crypto Conference coming up in September, as well as some prize things at the end. So stay tuned. Well, let's start by always, how did you get into cryptocurrency and why? Because you've been around for a few bull markets now, right?
Yeah, quite a few. I watched Bitcoin go up from $1 to $32, down to $2, up to 266, down to $50, up to 1,300, down to 150, and then up to 20,000. Now down back down to 3,000, up to 65,000. So yeah, I've been it's been quite a ride. And I started back when I had a YouTube channel for quite some time since 2008, and I was talking about gold and silver and how our monetary system transfers wealth from the poor and the middle class to the rich, and I wanted to teach people how to avoid that. Did a lot of monetary history study and so forth, and then when I saw Bitcoin, I thought it was a scam because as a software developer, I knew that that to solve the double spend problem was not something that was easy to do, and it was considered impossible by most computer scientists. And so when I saw it, I thought, no way, I'm going to read the source code and prove that this is a scam. Read the source code, and I was like, oh my God, this guy did it. He solved the double spend problem. So now we have a token that you could transfer to somebody, and you know that that person can't transfer it again to somebody else. They can't copy that token and make sure that we know that that token was transferred to another person and no one else. So it's an amazing piece of technology, just having that. Yeah, it's more than that. Bitcoin, of course, right? There's way more than that. But that kind of usability is not useful just yet until once it becomes 100% money and everybody uses it and accepts it and become money. People will freak out of all the cool use cases that you can have with Bitcoin. It's an unbelievable piece of technology.
Yeah, we're really just beginning, right? We're just at the very early phases. You talk about the technical coolness of Bitcoin. So one of the cool things you just mentioned was that we know that that token can't be duplicated, right? That's one token that goes to that person and that's it. So what are some of the other technical coolnesses that we haven't seen yet, perhaps that we may see as the market develops and grows?
Well, right now, the one that we were using, most people use is like, for example, they can if they want to store their Bitcoins and they don't want one person to be controlling it, they can have multiple keys, right? To that, but a certain number of people have to sign in order to actually transfer the money. So that's one key feature that's in Bitcoin that it's kind of being used, but mostly by corporations and exchanges, right? So that they ensure that whenever they need to access a cold wallet, it's just not one person that's signing off on it. It's multiple people that have to sign off on any kind of transfer. That's a key feature of Bitcoin for large corporations. There's a few others, for example, that you can actually program it so that after a certain amount of time, right, the money can be released to. So, for example, you want to give access to your child in the future, access to the money, but you don't want them to spend it right now. So you can give a time lock of when that money can be accessed. And also, you can also decide where it can be spent as well. So that's all built into the protocol of
Wow.
Bitcoin as it is today.
Right. So just like the price of Bitcoin, we haven't seen anything yet, right?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
those are just two.
Yeah. So, given that we have just had quite a lot of FUD in the market about Bitcoin going under 20K since we've had this big dip, it's been consolidating and it looked like it's going to go back and close the CME gap this morning, but now it's just moving really slowly. What is your take on where we are right now with the price of Bitcoin and then where we are generally within the market? Like, I personally don't think that we're heading towards the 2 year bear cycle, but what's your idea on all of that?
Yeah, I think we're just having a double bubble kind of deal here where we ran up a little bit and then we cooled down. Keep in mind, Bitcoin went from 10,000 all the way up, pretty much straight line to 65,000
Yeah.
um, and in a span of 6 months, or actually seven, effectively. And yeah, we had to expect some sort of cool off period before we continue with any kind of continued run. If we close above the $41,000 mark, that's going to indicate a very good that the bull market might be resuming, not 100%, just higher probability at that point that we're resuming the bull market again. We're definitely, if we break above the 41,000, we can definitely see Bitcoin get to the $50,000 mark again before we can look at the price action and decide which direction it wants to go. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
So, double bubble. Did you catch that, guys? It's a double bubble. We're going to get another bubble. So, given that we are having this, this dip and this consolidation period, I've been watching a lot of YouTubers saying that the end of the bull run was going to be somewhere between September and December, but now it might get pushed off to 2022. Do you have any sense of when we might top out, and like what would you be using to indicate that to know for sure?
I don't like to try to figure out time because you can either figure out time or you can figure out price, and you can't do both really effectively.
Okay.
So I try to stick with price movement more than trying to analyze whether or not time, or what time a specific price would be. Um, it is possible you can do a general area of where the top might be, but my technical analysis does not include time frames. I can give you like my own personal guess, but it's just as good as yours, basically.
Yeah. So my own personal guess is Easter 2022. What's your personal guess?
Mhm. Well, my personal guess would be probably December is the most likely,
Right.
because that's where it generally comes to. December at the latest maybe March, but no further than that.
Okay, cool. Great. Well, we'll see, right? Because
Hmm.
we are literally just guessing right now. So then we talk a lot about mindset, but both in my professional professional world as well as the Conscious Crypto channel we've set up for the big event that we're doing in September. So what is the mindset that you have as you're looking at this market, especially when we did start going into a free fall? What was going on internally, and how were you managing that to maintain calmness so that you can make better decisions with your trading?
Well, basically, this is Bitcoin. I mean, it does this, right? It goes up and it
I
comes back down. I mean,
like it. Yeah.
did you anybody who missed the last few bull runs might have missed that key point, and yeah, you just don't know sometimes when it's going to come down. Now, I should have suspected that, but normally Bitcoin does not consolidate at the top. It usually goes straight up in a blow off top and then comes straight back down. Um, and does not consolidate near its top. But that's what it did this time around, right? And you know what? The market dynamic has changed, right? So we have to accept that market dynamics change, and because as Bitcoin matures, its dynamic matures, and so we can expect different outcomes from the next few bull runs that we see. So, for example, the next final bull run might take longer to get to the top, and might be completely different than what we expected because we're having a different kind of money coming in, and the kind of money that's coming in is basically printed money,
Yeah.
money
Yeah.
that's printed.
Yeah.
Because you heard what Michael Saylor has done, right?
Yes.
Where did he get that money? Most of it probably was just printed, really effectively.
Yeah.
Even if he got it from investors, those investors probably borrowed it and in order to give it to him. And so, yeah, that's our system today, right? Certain people get to print money for free, and they get to buy up assets for free, and you can see it everywhere with the houses and so forth, and they're buying up assets for free because
Yeah.
well, the Federal Reserve is giving it away,
Yeah.
right, for
Yeah.
anyone who has access to their direct access to them.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of the Federal Reserve, aren't they meeting today to discuss cryptocurrency or something like that? I think I saw somebody tweet that.
I'm not really sure if the FOMC meeting is today, but it's pretty much irrelevant. I hate when people like stop on pins and needles on one group of men who gets to decide how our economy works.
Yeah.
Remember, we tried that with the Soviet Union. We
Yeah.
tried to completely control the economy, command commodity. How well did that work out? Did
Not very
not.
well. No.
So, do you think somebody controlling the money supply is going to work out very well? No, it's not. It's a fool's game, and we're going to learn again how it doesn't work the
Yeah,
hard
I'm
way.
really glad that you said that. I'm really big on putting ideas like that out there as well, so that we can start seeing the new, more fairer, equitable systems come into being. So that's really awesome. So, are you willing to share with us some of the altcoins you picked up at bargain basement prices?
Well, I have quite a few altcoins that I picked up, but generally I just go look around at the charts and see which ones I like, and I have videos on that. I can't tell you which ones I've recently bought, right? Because really just don't remember. I have like 340 different altcoins, so
Wow.
I've been around for quite some time, and yeah. So, but not only that, with the little lady strategy, it's mostly not about picking coins with fundamental value, just looking at the charts, and that's it. You really don't care too much about the fundamental values because one, if you did, you either a stay out of the coin, and some of these coins will just go up like crazy and then come back down and then go up again and then come back down and go up again, and that's where the little lady shines. Method shines. It takes advantage of those crazy moves and allows you to profit from them, and then eventually, even if that coin goes to zero, you've still made a lot of money with the little lady strategy because it's not about buying and holding; it's about selling half on a double. Basically, whenever the asset doubles, you sell half, and if it comes back down, you're going to be buying some more of that particular asset to once again sell half on a double.
Right. So that'd be kind of like spot trading, yeah?
Now, yeah, it's spot trading effectively, but I would say the little lady's method is more of like investing because it's not actually trading because you're always invested in the asset.
Hmm.
There is no exit strategy for to get exit all out on a particular coin. It's just you sell half on a double and you see tremendous
Right.
results from the little lady strategy. I mean, one viewer told me, "Hey, you know what? I started with one Bitcoin, now I have 10. It's amazing
Wow, that is really amazing. And
in one
guys,
year."
we are going to be diving deep into the little old lady's strategy. What on earth does that mean, and what is it in the crypto conscious event, a conference that we've got coming up in September? But you can get your hands on that now by going over to DavinciJ's website, and we're going to put a link below in the description so that you can go over there and get your hands on that strategy. Because one Bitcoin to 10 Bitcoin is really powerful. That is a very, very powerful strategy. So, speaking of powerful strategies, we always like to ask the people that we interview, how did you go right from the beginning? How did you go from $1,000 in crypto to 10,000 when you first began? And would you do anything differently today if you were starting out?
Well, well, here I started. Well, just to let the audience know, you can find the little lady strategy at DaVinciCodes.net/videos, and that's a little tricky subject, right? But a question because I mean, I started buying up Bitcoin and mining Bitcoin, right? I did both mining and buying, and I just wanted to get as much Bitcoin as I possibly could, right, in the very beginning. And I didn't really care about the dollar value of Bitcoin because I was looking at the long picture of Bitcoin. Also, when I started trading, right? I started trading without learning how to trade, and I lost a lot of Bitcoin that way. A lot of Bitcoin on leverage trades that I should not have done. And yeah, I got liquidated a lot and lost a lot with bad trades. Now, once I learned how to trade, the key thing that I learned was the little lady strategy from Brian Beamish, and he was one of my teachers. And yeah, he that strategy was clear to be a winner. And I started off actually with I started off in the little lady strategy with $20,000, and I moved that to $10 million in 4 years. And
Wow.
the first time I realized that this thing was working was when the first bull market, the first what's it called, alt season, what we call right now, when they takes off, all the alts take off. It was just unbelievable how for the first 2 months the little lady strategists seem to like not do anything, right? Because they're just waiting to buy. You're buying, you're buying, you're buying, and then all of a sudden, once the season comes in, it's just all of a sudden you're just like popping popcorn as you're making money left, right, and center. You're like, holy, this is unbelievable. So you need a little bit of patience, but yeah, once it gets there, once you wait and you get your turn, man, it's an incredible feeling, right? I'm looking forward to getting more messages from people about that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, the good thing about what it is we do are hearing the stories, right, of how we've been helping others get their wealth strategies together, and how they're creating that life-changing wealth, or even just that little bit of extra cash in hand for their families and so on. It's really awesome. So
Mhm.
if I was to ask you what your favorite strategy to trade is, I think I already know the answer, but do you want to give it to us again?
Yes, exactly. That is it. But if we're talking about a day trading strategy, right? I do have like what's called a Davo strategy, which requires a lot of indicators, but I can't really go explaining it in this video because you need to show people the indicators. But yeah, I do have like, and I didn't call it the Davo, right? It's just that other people did because I was showing people the strategy and I didn't give it a name, and they said, "Hey, why don't we call it Davo?" And so yeah, that's what the name stuck, and basically looks for W's on the on balance volume and on the RSI, and if they match up, then you could take a trade. So yeah, I do have quite a few. I have quite a few day trading strategies. Another one is I like is the Hail Mary strategy, right? Because like it's like you when you do it, man, it's pretty scary. The market comes barreling at you, and you're like, Hail Mary, motherfucker. Oh, that's why I call it the Hail Mary strategy, because it's pretty scary.
Right, and that's just taking that bigger risk, right?
No, it's
Preempting.
not taking a big risk. It's more of like because the market actually comes at you so fast with the Hail Mary that
Oh, okay,
you feel that you've made a mistake.
right. Hmm. Interesting. And of course, the little lady strategy, right? Little old
Exactly.
lady, I think it is. Is
Hmm.
that right?
Hmm.
Awesome.
Exactly, the little lady strategy.
Right.
Some people call it the LOL, LOL.
Oh, that's fun. So then, would you say that you have not changed your trading strategy during this time of consolidation because they're sound strategies, or are you adjusting your stop losses because of that? Or
Yeah, I mean, I haven't traded this current chop that we've had because it was been very brutal. Most of the M's and W's just hadn't worked out,
yeah,
which happens, right? When you're trading, right? For example, all your strategies, no strategy is like 100%, but a good strategy would give you like 60%. But you have to remember that if you're doing any kind of trade or doing anything that has a percentage of losses to wins, right, there will be streaks where you're just losing a lot, right, and you have to accept that. And then of course the worst thing is there's going to be streaks when you're winning a lot, and that's the most dangerous actually, because you're wondering why is that dangerous, is because you will feel invincible,
yeah,
and then that's when you put everything on the next bet that will actually get you to zero. So
yeah,
you have to be careful with the day trade.
yeah, yeah. Gambler's mentality, right? It's like I'm on a winning streak. Let me, yeah.
Exactly. So you have to be careful on the when you're day trading. You have to be seriously disciplined. You must trade with the exact percentage allocation at the same time. Always less than 5%. You should never lose more than 5% ever in any trade, and try to keep it down to like something like two, and then and keep it consistent that way, so that you will always be trading in the game and never be kicked out.
Yeah. So you talk quite a bit on your channel about never turning a winning trade into a losing trade. What do you mean by that?
Well, turning a winning trade, like, so for example, let's just say you have a target of to make you a profit, 2 to 1 profit, and you decide, hey, you know what, I think it's going to continue going higher. That's fine, but make sure you set your stop loss to break even, right? If you're going to do that, at the very least, or the stop loss to 50% win, so that you get 1 to 1. Where's the reward ratio? And so you get something out of that trade by moving your stop loss, so that you actually get something. But always remember, to the key thing about once you're right is to get paid. Always get paid. Because if you don't, right, then what happens is that will be counted as a loss. And then even though it was positive trade, right, so next time you make a trade and it actually turns into an actual loss, right, it adds up as a negative feeling for you. And so it's really hard for traders when they have a large streak of bad trades or
Yeah.
negative or losses. And so that's the key thing, is keep going, but it really gets hard when you get a large string of losses. So make sure you get paid when you do get it right, even if you get paid half.
Yeah, definitely. So when you're talking about moving your stop loss into profit, do you have a formula for that? Because I know for me, when I'm looking at it and I see I've got a certain amount of percentage of profit in there already, and I don't see the retracement coming back to my starting point, that's usually when I move up my stop loss into, excuse me, just above the entry point for break even. Do you have some kind of a strategy or a thought process around that?
Yeah, I just move it to 50%, and then I don't. After that, right? I just suggest you move it once you get to like the half. If you have a target, right, you can move your stop loss to 50%, and then if it continues and doubles your money again, then move it up to where your target was, of course, and then it's up to you at that point, right? Because
Right.
you're in a win no matter what.
So we've got our target. When we get halfway there, you move your stop loss up to 50%. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because then sometimes when it comes back down, you've got all that profit that just, that you lost it, right? When you could have had it.
Yeah, but then you don't. That's the thing, right? People like they count their chickens before they hatch, right?
Yeah.
And that's a killer's. That's a loser's mentality,
Mm.
because you will always because what happens is you feel that you've lost when you won. So don't consider that a win. Consider the win. Actually, don't consider that the money that you got could have had a win. Consider the win that, hey, you're in profits, is the win
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
That's the win, and make sure
My
you have
whole
it.
mentality around this, because I have been trading the volatility and been doing okay. Um, mine has been smaller profits are better than greater losses.
True that, true that.
Yeah,
That's why you have to always make sure that your risk to reward ratio is like at least 2 to 1, if
right.
not 3 to 1. But 2 to 1's the minimum you should have a risk to reward ratio, meaning that if you're going to bet $100, you're going to win $200 plus the original $100 that you bet, and the maximum you could lose is the $100, for example,
Right.
right? So that's the kind of deal that you should always do when you're trading. Or for example, if you bet 100 and you're going to win 300, right? So make
Yeah,
sure that your wins are significantly greater than your possible losses.
definitely. Yeah. So how do you approach stop losses? Because we're in a volatile market. I used to work in the stock market. I worked in a brokerage department for a really big merchant bank, and we invested big institutional money. So all of my technical analysis training came from the stock market. Coming over into the crypto market, way more volatile. So you can set a tight stop loss and get wicked out or stopped out before the trades even got off the ground. But then if you set a stop loss outside the last moving average or a Fibonacci level you don't think we're going to retrace to, if we go beyond that, then you lose more. So what's your approach to stop losses?
The approach to stop loss is really simple. It doesn't matter how large the range is, as long as you're getting a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Then you could adjust your bet based on the percentage of how much you actually want to lose. So you want to only lose 2%, for example. Right. So then you just calculate how much 2% is, even though let's just say the percentage is like, I don't know, it might be either 0.5% as your losses, or it might be 5% as your loss, because when you stick on the chart, it'll show you how much percentage you want to lose. And what you're going to do is bet so that you're only going to lose 2% of your total portfolio. And yeah, so it doesn't matter how big the trade, how long it will take. Just make sure you always lose the maximum of that you're willing to take on a loss every single time. And it's really simple.
So you're talking about 2% of your total portfolio, not 2% of the position you have in the trade.
Yeah, portfolio. When I say portfolio, I mean what you've deposited in an exchange. Right. So if you deposited, just to give you this, so that you know that this money that you deposited in the exchange should be money that you're willing to lose, right? Mm-hmm. And so it should be all the money that you're willing to lose, which is that in exchange, 2% of that and nothing else, not 2% of, oh, well, I have a house here. And so, no, don't do that. 2%.
Or your grandmother's savings, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that are doing some really crazy things without getting educated. Did you get education or mentorship in the beginning, or were you self-taught?
At first, I tried on my own, and that was a disaster. Of course, lost hundreds of Bitcoin, right? Brutally, and then I took a course, and then things started to turn around. So for me, so that's the key thing is always to learn. Make sure that you get properly educated before you go out and trade. And you know what? Don't be afraid to go to say that trading is not for you, because you know what? It requires people that can easily detach themselves from emotion, and that's so hard to do. Mm-hmm. Because you do get emotional about your money. So it's a difficult process. So you just have to train yourself over time before you can actually get it. And there are some, like one of the key things that I did was like an error sheet. If you have this error sheet that just says, okay, well, these are the things that I shouldn't do, and do I do them? Do I revenge trade? Do I get in? Do I try to chase the market? Do I do things that you shouldn't be doing in the trade? And then if you check those things off too many times, like 10 times, and perhaps trading is not for you.
Interesting. Do you have that published anywhere, or is that, you have a Telegram group, right? Which we're going to put a link below, guys, where you can join DavinciJ15's Telegram channel, and make sure you go over to his YouTube channel and subscribe if you're not a subscriber already, because he does daily videos and they're really awesome. I watch them every day. But in your Telegram channel, talk to me a little bit about what you've got in there. And do you have that checklist in there? Is that published anywhere, or do you have a video?
Actually, no, I don't. I do have a checklist somewhere, but I just need to, I gave it to Inti. Maybe I should, also to have it added to my group. That's a good idea. I probably will do that.
That's gold.
That's a good one.
That's gold, because that adds that psychology mindset component as well, which is so important. You've also created your own token as well. So I just thought we would finish up by talking a little bit about that and what that's all about, and how people can get a hold of that, and why they would want to get a hold of your token.
Well, my token gives you access to another secondary Telegram group, which gives you access to the one videos that I do live, right? So you could actually watch my live, because when I do my videos, I do them live in front of both the DavinciJ15.com subscribers and the people who own the token. So you get to access that video as I'm doing it live, and you see me making faces and having fun, and then you can ask me questions and so forth. Also, you will also increase your value with that token, because what I'm doing is percentage of all my revenue. So, for example, if you use any of my referral links, right, instead of using other people's referral links, use my referral links, which you can then you own the DJ15 token. I'm going to be taking a percentage of whatever I earn from referrals, and then putting and buying up the token and burning, so it helps increase the price. So that's a cool way to to get back some of the money that you when you purchase some of the different referrals things from my referral links. So yeah, it's a pretty cool way of doing things, instead of like not seeing anything from your clicking on my referral links. You'll get something back by owning some of the tokens.
Yeah, totally. I really love it. I think it's a really great idea, and it's on my list of things to do as soon as my head comes up from a huge list of other things that I need to do. So guys, all of the links that we've been talking about, the getting hold of the little old lady strategy, DavinciJ's website itself, the token, as well as the Telegram group, you'll find below this video. So just to end up with, what would you say would be the most important thing to know, or mindset, attitude to have in where we are at right now, since we might be in a double bubble?
Just the mindset to have is to understand this is a long game. This is not this is a marathon, not a sprint. So you want to be able to stay here and hold for that long term win, right? And anybody who holds Bitcoin for more than 5 years and just continues to buy and hold for 5 years or more, they become millionaires. It's really difficult, easy thing to say, but difficult to do, because you're watching the price every day and you feel that you can outsmart the market. And outsmarting the market ends up getting you, making you lose money. Trying to outsmart the market ends up making you lose money every single time. Why is that? Because you'll see sometimes you will sell the top and then watch it come back down, and then price comes back up, and you're like, oh my God, did I make a mistake? And buy back in at the highs as then the price goes down. So things like that you might end up doing, and you have to be very careful. Or you might buy at the low price, at a nice low price, but then it continues to fall, and you're like, oh my God, maybe I should sell now. You just don't want to get into that kind of game. My ex-girlfriend, right, she forgot that I bought her Bitcoins back in the days and 5 years ago, and today she's a multimillionaire, and I'm currently helping her figure out how to sell it, and also the tax consequences, because she is American. But yeah, so
awesome. Yeah, I saw that story on your channel, and I thought that is a great story. That's a really good story. Great take.
Yeah, I tried to get her to interview, but she was too shy.
Too shy. Yeah, that's fair enough. Some people don't like being in the public eye. Well, thanks so much. I really do appreciate your time. I'm looking forward to your participation in the conference we've got coming up in September. All of the links for everything you need to know are going to be below this video, folks. And we are having conversations here on this channel that no other YouTubers are having. So we'd appreciate your subscription. Definitely like this video. Help us out with that, with our YouTube overlords there. And post a comment. We try to get back to you within 24 hours for all those that make comments. Thanks so much. It's great to be talking with you again. And we'll speak again soon.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for having me.